Hello and welcome to the Nilon Report. My name is John Nilon, and I am the alumni representative to the California State University Board of Trustees. And the Nilon Report is intended to provide you, our audience, alumni and friends, with information related to the most recent Board of Trustees meeting, in fact the one that just concluded March 22nd, 2017, and provide you with some interest, highlights, and information related to the types of decisions that were made. This month we had three major takeaways. First one is the tuition increase discussion. We had a discussion about academic preparation. And finally, another discussion about academic master plans. So let's get right into it. Let's talk a little bit about the tuition increase. And again, on March 22nd, 2017, your Board of Trustees increased student tuition on an annual basis by $270. The question, of course, is why would we do that? Well, the Board of Trustees submitted a budget to the state of California, to the governor's office, and the governor returned that budget with a gap of $167 million. Now, that gap was intended to be spent primarily on student success programs such as the Graduation Initiative 2025, whose intent is to speed along the graduation rate so students graduate more quickly and enter the workforce and begin to gain their economic stability based on their education. So why now, in the middle of March, are we approving a tuition increase? Well, state law requires certain amounts of notice to the families, to the legislature, to the campuses that this tuition increase would occur, and so we are following state law in order to do that. Now, of course, that's awkward because we're having to pass a tuition increase prior to the state budget and the governor's approval of the state budget. However, we have the authority, based on full funding by the state of California, to roll back the complete tuition increase if we are successful with our advocacy. So what does this mean? What does this tuition increase mean to our students? Well, in the state of California with our CSU system, 60% receive grants or waivers and therefore pay no tuition, and so they will not be impacted. The actual number is about 255,000 students in the CSU system will have no financial impact by this tuition increase. It's also important to recognize that compared to the national peers, the CSU tuition costs are one of the lowest in the nation. In fact, 50% of all of our graduates graduate with no loan debt. Those that do have debt, though, are lower in an average and comparison with other California institutions as well as national comparisons. But we do recognize that this is not going to be easy for some of our students. A $270 increase will be impactful to them. The Board of Trustees was very much aware of this and very much concerned about that impact. However, the solution to that, of course, is continued advocacy. How is it that the CSU system and you, our alumni friends, can reach out to our legislators and indicate them the very great importance of being fully funded? If that does occur, if we are able to achieve that objective, then the tuition increase goes away. So let's now talk a little bit about academic preparation. And this is something we've been measuring since 1995, and really it's the readiness of our high school students to be successful immediately as freshmen their first semester. And we talk about whether or not they have college-level English and math success. And we, as trustees, heard the update, and we're very excited to report to you over those last 22 years, the increase in student readiness moved from 32% to 62%. That's exciting. And that means that the hard work of the school districts, the K through 12, the community colleges, and the CSU system are paying off. We expect that trend line to continue to increase. We're excited about the results, but we know much more needs to be done. We have continuing discrepancies between the different areas as well as across campuses with race and ethnicity. It is our intention to make sure that every student everywhere is qualified and ready to be successful as freshmen at the CSU system. So now let's shift gears and talk about an early assessment program, one of the two programs we'll talk about, and that started in 2001. And the intent, of course, was to reduce remediation courses for our first-year students. So first, we test the students as juniors in high schools. We assess them, we determine where the gaps are, and then we're allowed to make some changes in their senior year coursework so that they can take the courses necessary to be prepared and successful as freshmen in our CSU system. Next, we have the Early Start program. It started in 2012, and I'm very fond of this program because it allows students who are currently not ready for English and math to start these courses in the summer prior to enrollment in college as a freshman. It allows them to tune up their skill sets so that they can be immediately successful, and we have on many campuses seen incredible success with the Early Start program. Again, our goal is to be college ready for the first semester. And both of these programs will shorten the time to degree, which of course is critical for our graduation initiative 2025, and of course helps us close the gap. So let's talk a little bit about academic planning, another very exciting discussion we had at the Board of Trustees, and we received some updates that we are having 40 new degree programs are being planned for our system-wide, and it is in response to our employers, our students, our faculty, and the licensing and accreditation requirements throughout the state. It is a way that our CSU system can continue to be relevant to all who are our stakeholders to ensure that students are prepared and ready to be successful upon graduation. And adding these classes and adding these programs is just one way to ensure that that occurs. It helps the needs of today's students. And also over the next 10 years, we're going to add 12 new diversity-related programs. And that's important because our demographics in the state of California continue to change, and the needs of our students continue to change, and we need to be proactive and set these courses in motion, and it helps the needs of today's students and, of course, the students of the future. So in closing, something exciting to tell you. On March 24th and 25th, we're going to have the Alumni Council annual meeting held in Bakersfield, California, my hometown. And we're excited to show them the town a little bit and take on some very important agenda topics, such as a focus on that graduation initiative 2025 and how the alumni, all of us out there, can participate in making sure that it's a success and making sure that our students are successful and speeding up their time to degree. The next Board of Trustee meeting is May 23rd and 24th. I will see you on the 24th. Thank you for watching, and again, see you in May.